Hello, I'm just going to show you a few core exercises that you can have a go at. You don't have to do all of them, so just pick the ones that feel right for you. Some of them work down the front, some of them work down the sides. Try and get a mixture of the two. So we'll start off standing, then come to sitting, then come to kneeling, finishing with just a couple on your back. So for this one you need a chair. You can do it against the wall if you need less of an incline, or against the back of the settee, something like that. I'm just using this chair, but I've got it pushed against the wall so that it can't slide away. Similarly, I'm making sure that I've got decent shoes on and that I'm not going to slip on the floor. So I'm going to start off, hands on the chair, take one leg back, so I've got a straight line, heel to the top of my head, brace tummy, and take the other leg back. Now just make sure my head is in line with the rest of the spine, pulling the tummy in. And I'm just going to hold that, say for 3 to 5 breaths. If you can do that fairly comfortably, then you can increase the amount of time that you hold it for, but just make sure the hips don't sink down towards the floor. You want to maintain that straight alignment. A slight variation on that is to do that same move, but then to do it with a pulse, so that you're pulling in the tummy muscles more, just increasing that contraction. So again, 1 foot back, head in line, tummy pulled in, second leg back. And then I'm just going to pulse in, squeezing the abdominals. I'm going to go for 15. That's 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. That down. Okay. So next we're coming to seated. So I'm going to sit on the front third of the chair, sitting up really tall, arms across the chest, feet under the knees, and just tuck the chin down. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, just leaning back, aiming to touch the back of the chair with your shoulders, and pull back up. Make sure you keep the feet on the floor. And if the feet feel like they're about to pop up, then just reduce your range of movement. So breathing out. And breathe back in. I'm just going to do 2 more. But I would say to go for 8 to 12. Okay, so the next one is the first of the oblique exercises. See that more easily if I'm facing that way. Again, I'm on the front third of the chair, I'm sitting up really tall, arms across my chest, chin tucked into the chest. Tummy pulled in, breath in, and then as you breathe out, just turn the shoulders to the right. Breathe back into the middle, and turn the shoulders to the left. Breathe back into the middle, over to the right, back to the middle, and to the left. Now try and keep the lower body really stable so the hips are not following the shoulders. And this one I'd go for 4 to 6 on each side. It's a slow movement, you don't have to go very far, it's just getting that little bit of rotation. So we're coming on to our knees now. Just adjust the camera and just move the mat. Okay, so first one is on hands and knees. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. Then you've got a flat back, head in line. So imagine you've got a spirit level across the hips and another one across the shoulders. You've got to keep that balanced. So take a breath in, and as you breathe out, just slide your right foot away, still keeping the hips level. Tummy's pulled in, and that's what's giving you the stability to keep the hips level. Change your legs. Now it could be that you're finding that fairly easy. If you are, you can add in a little bit of a variation. So this time, slide the leg out. When you're at full extension, just lift it up to hip height. It's a really good one for the glutes as well. Lower back down and back in. Try and keep the legs straight and keep the spirit level in place. You might find it useful to have somebody just watch you do this for the first couple, because if you're not used to it, it can be quite hard to tell that the hips are level. Next level up, again, if that's okay, comfortable, you bring the opposite arm forwards. So now you've got both spirit levels coming into play. Really keeping the tummy pulled in so that you're keeping that stability. So I would suggest 3 to 5 of those on each side. If we do another version of the plank now, this one can be quite tough on the wrists, but then it's also a very good one for building strength in the wrists. So I'll show you. You can see how you get on with it. Same start position, but this time you're tucking the toes underneath the feet. Breath in, and as you breathe out, just try and pick the knees off the floor, so you're supporting yourself on your hands and your toes. Hold it for a couple of breaths, and come back down. So you should feel as you lift up that you're really having to work those tummy muscles. And back down. Okay. So next we're coming on to forearms. So I call this position Sphinx position. So we're coming into a plank or leg pull as it's known in Pilates, but we're going to stay either on the thighs or on the knees, which help to protect the back. So I've got my elbows directly underneath my shoulders, and I can feel my belly button on the mat. So what I'm going to do is peel the belly button away from the mat. So I'm effectively rolling up onto the pubic bone. I'm going to keep going, I'm rolling up onto the thighs. So at this point, I can feel that my abs are engaged. You can either hold it there, you can roll up a little bit further onto the knees. And I would suggest holding it there. Keep breathing, so maybe count the number of breaths you're able to hold it for. And roll back down. Okay, just keep it really controlled. Just go to the point where you're comfortable that you're using the abs, but you can't feel any pain in your back. So if you come up this way, just push the pelvis forwards. It's a kind of a rolling up movement. You'll begin the right position. You should feel that engagement. And rolling back down. Maybe try 3 of those, but try building up to about 30-second hold. If you can do that already, let me know and we'll take you up to the next level. Okay, so we're coming on to our side now. I'm going to work the obliques. So this is another one that's an equivalent for the seated one, the seated twist. So I've got my head on that lower arm, and that's to keep my neck in line with my spine. If that's not comfortable, bring the arm forward and just support the head with a pillow or a cushion. Then got your hips, knees, ankles all in line, and I'm using this front hand to steady myself. Take a breath in, And as you breathe out, lift both legs off the floor. Breathe in, come back down. So if you were to put your hand here, you should feel as you're lifting that those muscles are contracting. I was a bit wobbly, that one, wasn't my best one. Now this exercise doesn't work for everybody because for some people it's just a bit painful on the hips. I don't have that problem, probably got too much padding. But because of that, I will show you an alternative that you can use in case that one is a bit uncomfortable. So bring the knees forwards, and then if you place your hand down your back, you want your heels to be in that same alignment. So they don't have to be that far in, but if you can get them so that you can just touch your heels, that gives you a good steady base. Then come up onto your elbow. Now I've got my elbow underneath my shoulder, but you can see that my ribs are not that far off the mat. So what I want to do is lift the rib cage again, so I've got that straight alignment all the way down the body. That means my shoulder's now a little bit too far out, so I'm just going to bring it back in. Other arm up, or you can keep it on the hip, that way you keep the chest open. Breath in, and as you breathe out, just lift the hips. Now you don't have to actually lift the hips off the floor. Just by initiating that movement and moving as if to lift the hips off the floor, you'll still be using those same muscles. If you haven't done anything like this before, I would suggest starting off with maybe 3 to 5 on each side. You can build up to 6 to 8. Or to holding it for longer. Okay. So we're going to spin the feet around now. Need the chair again. So I'm just going to place my feet on that seat. Get myself in position so that I've got a 90-degree bend behind the knees, which means that my knees are over my hips. Arms just down by my sides. So just make sure that your back is comfortably on the mat. You want that good connection. And then bring the hands onto the front of the thighs. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, just press the hands and the knees together. Keep breathing. And relax. So as soon as you start to resist one against the other, you should find that those abdominals are engaged. I tend to do this 3 or 4 times and hold for 2 or 3 breaths each time. So breath in, and then start to squeeze, breathing normally. And release. Just do one more. And release. Okay. So let me know how you get on with those. There are always lots of different options. So those are ones that I'd like to see how you get on with them first, have a go at. But let me know and we can take it from there. All right then.